see, I mean, these two teams, Wildcard, Team Queso, they just need to take the fight with each other because making it to the next zone, well, good luck. Oh, Ayala actually going to be popping in the Zima. Looks like Nitsu does have a Dacia, so they want to try to avoid this fight at all costs. We got the Knights, the Bridge Trolls, right on the opposite end of this one as well. That circle is so small. 9 teams to go. Mistakes are happening. Team Queso, vehicle explosion. Trickster laughing at that one.
Yeah, Echo got in there as well a little bit, but Trickster all the way to the back. I mean, look, I got to give them props just for trying. They're so far ahead. Go for the crazy play. Go for the send. Wildcard going for the complete opposite approach. The slow and steady with the utility across the river. Going to try and swim it out, but they got the work cut out for them. And I talked about those buildings before. All the different line sight springs going to be down as well. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, somebody is going to be taking shots, so you got to make sure you can hit them right back. And whether it be quick or slow, Team Queso, Wildcard, all of these teams are going down swinging. Leon, the last one standing, is just trying to survive, trying to make it through. But it's going to be tough sailing, and is able to get the down on the flash, but not long for this world, Dave.
Yeah, that's huge for Leon. Really bad for... What? What is going on over here? Really bad for the hate says Leon took out 2 of them. That was insane. There's not a lot of time left for these revives to occur. Blue zone is pushing on in, so they might have just been spread a little too thin right here. The Fears have been chilled in their homes. The bushes are trimmed. They're looking to take out the Knights as they make the approach. Mollies are going to be out. Yeah, Flash calling for that revive. I don't think it's going to happen, buddy.
Oh, no, I mean, there's multiple downs from Joey actually are hugely impactful because PK was in a pretty good position to try and take this in, and now they only have 2 players left. They were up at 4, and now we're seeing nades going on both sides, mutually assured destruction with BDM and Loops. Oh my goodness, Federal is going to drop as well. These nades are massive. B4 getting involved in the Battle of Brazil here on Bakendi. We're seeing Nenabede looking to try and line it up as we're seeing Jack G, though, getting involved. PK still in this. BDM Rafa out there on the outside, but Defeaters is here now going toe-to-toe with Execute. Its Fate is here trying to get the revive on the Echo. But this is huge. Still 6 teams up and getting involved in Defeaters Day. You said it. Playing slow and steady inside these houses. They're the only team with all 4 members alive.
Slow and steady, baby. Slow and steady. Loops, they're just getting picked apart from everybody over here in the open field. Federal was able to get picked up. Execute, they know. They can hear Fishy, Richie moving on around. It comes down to, do they have grenades? Do they have mollies? Try to flush them out right there. But Paul, these bushes in between the city and this field is going to play a huge role in the final ending here. Mark my words.
Oh, you're 100% correct. I mean, we know that any little bit of additional cover, 1 second that it takes to stop a shot rating on it can make all the difference in the world. As finally Trickster is going to go down. PK with the wide swing, looking to get all the way around from Defeaters, running into B4 as well. Kowalski is going to drop 2 blue, was able to dislodge, or I should say, drop lovingly all of the meds and stims for the rest of the team, but Federal hanging on by a knife's edge. Carrillo is down on the outside. This is Luke slowly but surely just getting worn down. Death by 1,000 cuts. Federal's going to try and heel strat through. Rafa's there. PK's going to fall as all the teams are starting to focus in towards the center here, towards these houses, this compound that Defeaters have. And they're in a really solid spot because Bishop up there on the high ground looking in, the player who couldn't play early on for the squad, who was able to come on in, take back the spot on the team is here, and Federal's just trying to heal on up, but this is Defeaters' game right now. I can't believe I'm saying that, Dave.
It is. Let's see what they can do, though. I mean, you got the solo Rafa from BDM over there, just chilling, trying to get some placement points. Federal running down to the wire when it comes to their actual med situation, and Abete definitely will see its fate here any moment now. You hear its fate crawling right there. Looks like Defeaters. Okay, there you go. Luke taking down. Now here comes the engagement. And Abete popping up, taking some shots onto its fate. Gonna be chunking them down there now. Here comes the support from Echo. Trying to get the connection onto Nenabete.
Both teams just playing around the edge of that little hill. Fate running from the molly. The damage is coming in as well. Nenabete poking the head on up. Echo 2 folks are going to look towards the revive. Going to try and confirm all these kills. We're getting shot as well from the high ground position I mentioned before from defeaters. All the teams have to continue moving in. The circle is slowly but surely closing in. B4 in terrible position. Pager's going to try and heal set up through this. Basically means that just execute. Coming in. Rampa! Hang on a second. No, it's going to go down. And that's just the heal strap paying off for B4. Execute goes down, and that's just it. That's going to be all she wrote. B4 able to hold on and survive just a little bit longer. Looking to pick up one additional point. Can he get done? Ghosty with the shots, and that's going to be it. Defeaters! We asked for it. We asked for it, and we received it here at the end. We said, look, this is your last week. Yes, you're coming into the day in 24th place, but show us that you deserve to be here in the PUBG Mobile Pro League Americas Season 2. And with plays like that, being smart, and a little bit of circle luck, I think they showed a little bit of that here.
Defeaters get in their first chicken dinner here in the final week of the league play. Playing it slow and steady, like we said, slow and steady, protecting that neighborhood and protecting it. They did. Coming out on top with the numbers advantage. They had 4. They got a couple kills to go with it, Paul. If I'm Defeaters, I'm pretty happy right here. I'm pretty happy right now, too.
I mean, look, the circle's definitely shifted in their favor there at the end. They sat in that compound for what felt like years. Honestly, it was probably 10 minutes. It was like a long time. Look, but still, not going to take it away from them because a lot of teams tried to challenge them. Execute, B4, PK, Loops, just to name a few. And they fought off a couple teams even before that. So let's, to be honest, didn't necessarily get every single kill because of all the third-party action that was going back and forth, but they still were able to hold on with all 4 members. Jason, I'm going to be honest, man. If you're one of these teams who's down there at the bottom and seeing the 24th place team get a chicken dinner, that's got to give you some hope.
I mean, if you're Loops,
you're not good enough to make it in, but just like
if you're Loops in like 6th place at the start of the day and you have no chicken dinners, and then you see a team in 24th place with a chicken dinner, I don't know if they're going to have hopes. I feel like they're going to be really upset at themselves that there's only one other team who doesn't have a chicken dinner besides them.
I guess.
I'm more of a glass half empty than half full kind of guy.
I'm getting that. I'm getting a sense of that.
Whatever the opposite of optimist is. Pessimist? I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little bit of that. But you guys obviously get a short little break here, but Defeaters get to be extremely happy about getting that victory under their belt, though no, in the grand scheme of things, how it will affect them. They would potentially make it into top 16 as we bring our experts back in. Glitter in 7. I have to ask you, how are you going to give away 10 trillion bazillion?
Oh, man.
I have to ask you, how are you going to be in 7th place without a chicken dinner, and then the team in last place is going to be getting the chicken dinner? That is crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yep. I mean, it's official.
At the 7WG, you see giveaways every single week.
Yeah, and he's giving away 10 bazillion gajillion every week. Let's take a look at our overall, or not overall, our rankings from the last match. You see Defeaters here getting themselves a 21 points, and B4, hey, again, it's not a win for them, but Glitter, more importantly, it's not a 0th place finish for them, which is, I think, a really good sign going into this last week.
Yeah, I feel like they're really starting to pick up their consistency. They had a strong day in our last play day as well. I feel like they're starting to snowball a little bit. I want to jinx it, but this was definitely another strong game for B4. They don't necessarily need it, but it's just going to give them that confidence boost moving into finals. Execute, having another very strong game, especially since they were one of those teams towards the middle, so that'll be huge for them. Loops pulling down 7 kills with 6 placement points. This is definitely better for them. It's still not 100% where they could be, but I mean, they're chipping away at those points without even needing the chicken dinner. They're solidifying themselves in the top 8, so it's definitely a safe spot for Loops. BDM, 10 placement points, only 2 kills. Wildcard 7, though. This is what's huge for me. They had 9 kills this time around. I know we've been saying, like, where's the wildcard that all the teams were afraid of? This is a step in the right direction.
You know what's the difference in that match? Acer, one of the players that we were saying that set out the first couple matches earlier today, is back, and he was actually able to get 2 kills there for wildcard, and Leon was able to get 5 kills for wildcard gaming. So definitely a huge job there from pretty much the replacement for Sam at the moment. As we're going to be going here towards the second page, we see Exit there with 5 points, 4 kills that they definitely needed there, and I'm glad that we're able to get that. We could end up with a 5 total. We see Alpha 7 Esports with 3 kills, as we were able to see them squad wipe Nova Esports on the crash. I believe we'll be showing you that later. Brazilian Rampage, 3 points, the unnamed 2 points, 19 Esports, 1 point. Nova Esports, a team that's definitely towards that danger zone, with only being able to get 1 point there. Better Gaming 1 point, and Healthy Quit Addiction 0.
You know, I want to give a shout out to PK, by the way. They get themselves 10 points. They're one of the teams in the danger zone at the moment in our red zone, and they definitely need to continue to pick up points if they want to make it in their top 16. Them and BDM in general on the first page have been able to stall out, realizing these are two of the teams that really need to scrape up every point they can possibly get. And to be honest, Glitter, I feel like we are seeing a lot of teams now playing quite differently, especially if you're one of those teams on that cusp and breaking through that bubble.
Yeah, and we had anticipated this happening, whether it was the teams on the cusp or the teams at the top, and whether that was trying out new strategies because now you've got that cushion of time to be able to do that, or whether now you're playing with desperation and you're changing your strategies, whether that's trying to be safe or trying to kind of go all out for kills. Either way, there's a lot of teams starting to switch things up. It's working out in favor of some of these squads, and obviously with Defeaters able to pull down a win here, Nova having a strong showing earlier, but you know, not all of them are having the same success.
Yeah, it's actually kind of surprising to me to see it kind of working out for them, because I was expecting teams like Queso to come in and just really fight you then, where teams aren't being as aggressive, being more passive, allowing Queso to be the aggressors and choose where they want to fight. But it didn't work out well for Queso earlier on. Maybe things will change later on in the day, but we still have a chance to look at our Mountain Dew game feel moments, though. From that last match, to start to break down some of these fights, and you guys talked about a little bit of a telestration set we're going to have later on today involving Nova. But off the bat, you can see PK, they got a very early skirmish.
Yeah, and PK being able to, as you were saying, they were able to get some points in the last match, and they're also another team that's within that danger zone. Love to see the performance out of them. As we do see more of the highlights here, another team that we were kind of talking about when we were watching that last game, Glitter, was Execute. Execute was able to get good points as well. They ended up getting 14 points total, and something of a question that I'm looking to pose here is, by the way, this is the play that we'll be able to break down later for you, Nova Esports versus Alpha 7. Just wait for it. It's going to be awesome. But with Execute, remember, they said it whenever they were casting the first match, saying that Killswitch was going to be sitting out this next couple of days. And Killswitch has been that fragment, that aggressor player. But what I'm wondering is, by not having that aggressor player, do you think their whole game style has changed and probably caused them to slow down? Because this is some good finishes in regards to placement. I'm not even counting the kills. Just in regards to placement alone, this is great finishes for Execute.
Yeah, and you know, I think that it's smart because from what we've seen, at least, you know, I could be very wrong, but from what we've seen so far this season, Killswitch, like you said, is not only is he aggressive himself, but it's almost like he kind of brings the rest of the team with him. When he's making those pushes, everybody's going with him, and they're kind of following his level of aggression. With him not here, we are seeing a more conservative play style out of Execute. They are kind of slowing things down and seeing how it's going for them. It's working so far. They're able to still get a decent amount of kills while pulling down more placement points than we've seen them do previously. So maybe if this is something that they see start to be successful, they can kind of find a blend that works well for them, where they can utilize Killswitch's aggression as well as kind of rein it in just a tad, so that they can start chipping away a little bit more at those placement points throughout the rest of the week. But it is an adaptation that I do enjoy seeing out of Execute, because I think that they had struggled for a little while, but then, man, the final moments of this game, like, I think it was right at this point when we were watching it at Bet 7, I was like, I think Defeaters might have this win, and you were like, oh, I think you might be right, because we were sitting there like, there's no way that the 24th place gets the win when we just watched Federal go down to the blue, like, and that's what happened.
But again, like, that's, if you're one of those teams on the bubble, that's perfect for you. If Defeaters gets an extra 15 points, that means one of the teams that you're competing against won't be getting those points as well. So honestly, you should be extremely happy if you're one of those teams at the moment still trying to break into top 16 or maintain it. We're going to take a look now at our damage from the last match here, and we're going to see, of course, Loops, 2,300 damage done. And also Wildcard. I think it's interesting because we talk about Execute and not having Killswitch today, 7. But also Wildcard is still running with Leon instead of Sam. And Sam played earlier today. So I'm really curious what's going on with Wildcard in the same sense.
Now, listen, I'm kind of guessing here. This is not backed by anything that the players have told me. But the reason why I think Sam played for Acer is because maybe Acer was a little bit busy with school, and then they were just filling in that spot because they didn't want to go in with 3 players, as we have seen them done before. Even though they know they can perform well with 3 players, why not just ask the extra one? You don't. why not? Just go for it. Now, we saw the actual core four that I expect to see when we make it to the finals, which is going to be Acer, Leon, and the other players as well. And Leon, I mean, as I was mentioning, that last match, he was able to get 5 kills, 632 damage. So those are some great stats for somebody that you have coming in a way new to the team.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm really curious to see if Wildcard do decide to leave him in the roster in place of Sam when we get to the finals. But for now, we talked about a play we're going to break down with Nova against A7. He told us just hold on, wait for it. I'm done to hold on, 7. I'm done waiting for it. So let's just see it.
Let's go, Tyler. I'm just winning. There you go. There's pretty cute. Thank you, Adrian. Now, for this one, you know what? I'm going to let Glitter take care of this.
You know what, 7? Thank you so much for the setups here with all of the arrows. So you guys can see exactly where A7 is in relation to all of the Nova players. And A7 is actually going to crash in onto this compound. Now, instantly, as soon as that happens, you can see the damage that's taken by, I believe it's Vitsu right there, and instantly AZ's down, right? Okay, so it seems like this is already kind of going poorly for Nova. You do see Zishan up here on the roof. He is able to get an angle onto Law by the tree, and he's able to put some good damage into him. So right now, it's kind of even. From here, you can actually see Cat rotating. And just to clarify, from the beginning of this entire thing, it started off as a 3v3, so it was an even fight for both of these squads. But G-Fan and Vitsu do go down at towards the very end, and then it ends up in a final 1v1 with Cat versus Swagwin, and I swear, 7, Swagwin got out of there with like 5 to 10 health. Like, the man was on the brink of death. And part of the reasons that we wanted to highlight this, though, is because it goes into everything that we've been talking about. It's kind of taking away a lot of points from Nova, who's one of those teams in the middle that have needed it, but also Alpha 7. They were, you know, they lost a lot of players there, but they took on an aggressive play, and in the end, it just barely worked out for them.
Seen those rushes kind of backfire today, and it's good to see Alpha 7 come out on top of that. And I'm actually surprised. I wonder if the outcome would have been different if the last player standing on that 1v1 would have actually been G-Fan instead of Cat. Just based on that Cat is currently in China, playing from China, so, you know, just thinking about ping stuff here.
Well, it's also Nova showing multiple times now that they can't really deal with aggression from other teams. They're the ones that need to be aggressive. If you think back to the first match when they're playing up against XSET, they sat back, I mean, obviously being a player down, but they kind of sat back and waited for XSET to come to them, and that didn't work out in the end for them either. But what does work out for all of us here on our virtual desk is the Esports Awards currently going on right now. At the moment, you guys can vote for Pubg Mobile as the Esports Mobile Game of the Year Award by heading over to esportsawards.com/community vote. And like we said before, you know exactly what's going to happen if you take a screenshot of your proof of voting for Pubg Mobile. This man here is me giving away a trillion bazillion UC to one lucky person. You have to follow over on the 7WG on Instagram and make sure to link this clip of me talking about it and obviously the sweet little graphic we have for proof. And if he doesn't pay up, head over to Tencent and be like, hey guys, this man hasn't paid it out. So what we're going to do for now, we're going to head to a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be kicking off our final match of the day. It's going to be back on Miramar.
Mountain Dew? Squads, there's loot on the horizon for however you find victory. For the combat chauffeurs, for those who strike from above or from below, for the experts in hand-to-hand combat. Whether you're taking a leap of faith or just aren't afraid of a close call, fuel your path to winner chicken dinner with ice-cold Mountain Dew. And with exclusive loot from Mountain Dew fuel stations, spawning on a map near you.
Now you might be asking yourself, Jason, why did you say the final match on Miramar? Because we have 4 matches today and 4 matches tomorrow, and as you can see there, it's going to be on Miramar, and then tomorrow we'll be switching things up by having a double Sandhawk day. Now we're going to have Group A and Group B participating, which means we have the likes of Casey coming back in, but again, you can see we have Tribe as well, a team still fighting for a chance to be in or to maintain themselves into the top 16. And honestly, I don't know how this week is going to go. We've already seen Defeaters get a chicken dinner today. We saw Nova get Extremely Coast multiple times again at chicken dinner. We saw Xset, who already had a massive last day of week 3, pick up a chicken dinner. We're seeing a lot of shifting happening right now. Even Influence Rage, for the first time, making it the top 16. Who knows if it's going to go anymore here in Virum? We only have 3 days left in this one match.
I think this just shows us that teams are not ready to say die yet. That we're getting down there, and every single team who is on the outside is saying, I need to show up every single day, every single game like it's the last one, like this is my last chance, because we're getting to the point that it is.
Dave, you're looking like a man who doesn't say die either. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't. You just can't. I mean, Influence Rage starting today in, what, 17th? 17th, now they are in 14th. They have been having one phenomenal showing here today. Unfortunate for the Unnamed, though, they start today on the cusp. Now they're going to be down there in 18th. So hopefully the Unnamed, they are playing this game. Hopefully with one more match here tonight, they can get their spot right back.
The thing that worries me, though, for a lot of these teams who are on the cusp or currently outside of it, is that you're going to go to bed tonight thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow with the pressure mounting on your shoulders. Every day that goes by, you're going to be that much more worried if you're not able to get into top 16 or get yourself comfortably set up in a way that you're not going to fall out of it here in Virum. That's going to be a lot of pressure, especially for a lot of like newer players you might have coming in.
For sure, and I touched on this at the start of the show the idea that, you know, pressure should in a lot of ways be sort of easing off because they're used to it, but this is a different kind of pressure. There's a pressure to perform and there's a pressure to deliver, and we're getting into that now.
It's like you know, asking your parents for dessert, and they're like, well, you should be full from dinner. Like, well, I have a dinner stomach for food and I have a dessert stomach. It's completely different things here as we have the pressure mounting up here to see if we have diamonds being built up in the Pubg Mobile Pro League America Season 2. So let's kick it into our last match of the day on Miramar.
Thank you so much, Jason. Yes! Dessert stomachs, they're a real thing. I used to tell my parents the same thing to my left leg. It's got a stomach in there, you know? That's what it's all about. Easy. All right. Dave, fourth and final match of the day. Let's get some hype because these teams who are on the edge do not want to start off this next day not in the top 16. Every single one of them wants to make sure that they are at least comfortably in that spot. And this plane path, not comfortable.
At least. And we're looking at meta. You know, 16th position on the overall leaderboard. They are going to be playing here in this final game. We see them still in the plane path. They're going to be jumping on out here very shortly. Plays one of the first squads to drop on out. Nova heading down there to the south. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at those big movers and shakers. I mean, the Unnamed, they went down. They're no longer in that top 16. Influence, they went up. The Knights, they also went up. They started today in 18th. Now they're going to be in 17th overall. They're not going to be in this game if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking for them. But yeah, I mean, right there on the cusp, and you know, the cusp, the bubble, the red zone, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that is like one of the main stories here of this week, as this is the last week, Paul.
Man, it's just coming down to the wire. I mean, I feel a little bit of pressure for these teams. I can't imagine what it's like, you know, hands on the phone, palms are sweaty, you know what I mean? Like, trying to actually execute these plays in the moment when it matters most. I mean, I've spent some time as a competitive gamer. I've played on, you know, I've been in that situation, and I know how hard it is. At least for these players, what's great about it is there are enough games in the mix that even if you have a rough one, mentally you can still tell yourself to shake it off. Because it's, you know, we're getting to the point where you still can't. I mean, there's still 3 days left. You still have an opportunity, but you don't have meta.
Oh, once again, meta. Every single game, meta, they find themselves dropping hot, man. Dropping hot, or at least dropping near another squad. And this is the last thing meta won. 16th overall. Not that many points actually in there. So beat up against Wildcard, who are currently in 8th place on the overall leaderboard. Wildcard, I mean, Wildcard have a lot of room to work with, and on the flip end, Meta do not. So this is going to be a very interesting fight Plus, I'm still waiting. I believe Spring promised me a crossbow kill. We might see that here with that long-range Uzi spray right there to get this started.
All right, I mean, we're going to hold to it. We're going to absolutely
have to.
We have to. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've run into Spring at enough events. You know, I'll look them in the eyes and say, come on, you got to do it. You got to go. Seeing the nade flying in from Rolex. Okay, I didn't think for a second. I didn't think that was going to connect. But oh my goodness, did it ever. And now the rest of the wildcard is rolling enough. Can Abdul continue to build the momentum that started off by that nade, trading at 1-for-1. Acers here around the outside, but Meta's still looking to be in a pretty good position. And they see if they can finish off the kill into Abdul. They cannot. Rolex did take a lot, though. And now Wildcard is angry. They lost one of the key members of their squad early. Leon is already down. Slicky forced to close the distance. So Kitas is going to get the pick up here on the outside. They managed to slow this down just a little.
Yeah, it looks like they will be able to get the revive. Acer, though, up close and personal drop shot from the sky. The Uzi falling right on top of their head right there. Rolex spray down. Wildcard. What, son? Done.
Rolex started it off from a nade from around the building, down the street, down the road, up the hill, and then he finished it off with a wild Tommy gun spray in a 2v1. This is what I've been waiting to see from Meta. Every time they drop hot, they get out of there, but they don't own it. This time, against a team as dominant as Wildcard, they owned it.
They did. They owned it. They got the 4 points. They should be able to get the resets, get the revives, and then go on their merry way, looting on up there on that west side of Los Leones. Now, G25, they're not too far away from there. They heard the gunshots. They might opt to push on into Meta's position. Only time will tell. Checking on in with Clays. Clays looking like they're in somewhat of a standoff. I don't think Cloud9 are aware of how they're currently being tracked right here. I mean, I see Bale still going for that loot over there in the arena, but Clays very separated from each other right here. Very separated. If one of these members were to get knocked, I don't see them having the time necessary to get the pickup before they bleed out here. So we'll see what will also happen. El Pozo, this is going to be right here on the edge of circle number 1.
That's sort of the risk of some of these buildings sometimes. If one of your teammates gets knocked on like the 3rd floor and you're huffing it, just trying to run your way up. I'm not saying I've had a teammate bleed out as I've been trying to make that climb, but I'm not saying that. Look, I'm scarred. Okay, well, it's definitely happening. Anyway,
you're about to cry.
Please, I'm holding back tears. It was really traumatic, and I don't want to see that happen to you, Clay. So please, probably don't pick a fight with Cloud9 there. But a team that was talking about taking smart fights. You saw them on the screen there for just a second. It's Tribe, INTZ. Saw Paula get knocked out at range and finished by PK the last time we were here on Miramar. See if they can do the same to another unsuspecting squad. This time it's Tempo, but they're not that unsuspecting. They're firing some shots back.
Yeah, and you heard all the gunshots as well. I believe Rain popped their head on over the hill, and about 4 members, or all the members from INTZ immediately just spraying down their shots, shooting their shots out there in the distance. That's definitely going to alert Tempo. Okay, let's not go that way, at least not right now. They're in a pretty solid little bowl here, right in the middle of the zone. BDM, duck, Neto. Oh no, taken down on their rotate. Add injury to insult right there. Angry getting that vehicle explosion. Okay, only 2 more members alive for BDM. They are reconsidering their previous decision right there.
Ooh, that vehicle had blown up there. That was actually really close. We should have seen a full long-range wipe of this squad. And we'll see if XSET wants to push their luck here because they know that vehicle is smoking. If they can blow it up here, guarantee that they don't rotate out. We might actually see an aggress from XSET to finish up these kills. And I think I kind of like this is the time to play aggressive. Look at where you are in the circle. Yes, there's potential that other teams could come in and third-party this, but we know, looking at the mini-map, they still have a lot of room to play with. Obviously, this is a risky push up this hill. This is risky, but you got to risk it for the biscuit. And obviously, XSET, they're in a good enough position that I don't think they'll take it. But if this was another team, this was a team on the cusp, I would have liked to have seen it. But I think where XSET is now, they've done the work. They can take it easy.
Yeah, very risky to get frisky right there, but we see Joey trying to get that vehicle explosion and at least keep BDM pinned down. yes, it's an uphill battle, but just knowing that BDM are kind of stuck up there, that's a win. That's a win in my book right there. You know, put a stop to their utility and their possible, you know, escape plan. Looking on over here, 19 Esports. Ooh, I don't know if I want to be taking some shots at Team Queso. Team Queso, they're just doing what they want here tonight, and y'all gonna be taking some shots with the SLR.
Nitsu is they're driving a bus.
Trying to get the bus in the church.
In the church, you know, as one does.
That's allowed.
As one does. I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Okay,
Pretty sure it's fine.
hey, you say it's fine?
That's
fine.
Okay. Who's going to tell him no? 19 Esports?
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. Right in there. Like a glove. Like a glove.
The challenge is getting it out, though. All right, reversing is a lot harder than driving straight on in there. So I'll give him the award if they could do that. I'll be happy.
Yeah, and for sure. And I love that you touched on sort of the play from Team Queso today, because they came into today, I'm going to be honest, playing a little fast and loose, like a crumbly blue cheese, you know, just being sprinkled over the game, getting a little drive-by appearance here or there. But they haven't really been going super hard, playing super seriously here. They've created enough of a lead now that I think they're just looking to go in and have some fun and just be a disruption on the server. And again, normally I'm not a huge fan of that, but given how strong this team has been looking, I don't hate it here. Because just the disruption, the chaos they're going to add to these lobbies is just going to make it's so much harder for some of these other squads, and it's just going to make everybody be questioning their decisions, and that may actually be more valuable long-term for them, especially if you're trying to look back and you're trying to scout strats. Hard to scout strats for a team that's not playing any.
Yeah, and you know, I hate to burst the bubble of all those people out there, you know, rooting for other squads. Team Queso, they started today with an 82-point lead ahead of second place, all right? As Paul mentioned, they haven't been the hottest here tonight. Coming into this game, 80-point lead. So they lost 2 points, Paul. They lost 2 points. It's going to be tough for them to swallow. It's a tough one. I mean, 80 points between first and second. Getting really close. I mean, G25 hot on the trail tonight.
And the funny thing is all the teams at the top haven't been playing that well. The stars of the show today have been the teams around that 12 to 18, 19 mark range. The ones that we've been talking about, the ones we've been hyping on. I don't think it's a coincidence either. They know the pressure's on. They know their backs are against the wall. I do not think it is a coincidence at all, but it also gives me hope. Just because you're at the top of the leaderboard now, once everything resets going into the finals, given how good these teams can play, shows that it can be anyone's game.
Definitely. And this is the week for those teams that are on the bubble, on the cusp. Like, this is their week to really pull it all together, fix any type of little mistakes they might have had the last 3 weeks, and just make sure to qualify. Like, that's the goal. Yeah, okay. If we finish this week 15th, it's not the best, right? But at least we qualified, because when we come to the finals, 20 more games, anything can happen. The slate is clean. You just never know. You just never know. So that's the goal here. That is the goal. Of course, the teams at the top, they get money as well. You know, first place 10K, second place 6K, third place 5K. So there's money. There's money all around. But honestly, if you're a team down there, 14, 15, 16, like, the main goal, just qualifying. Like, that's the goal.
Because if you do qualify, that opens up
even more money.
doors. Opens up not only in terms of prize money, but in terms of qualifying. Jason was talking about it earlier. $2 million of the global championship. Like, that's really where a lot of these teams are aiming their sights. So it's just one foot in front of the other. Take the next step, and what's the most important step a man can take? The next one.
Baby steps. That's why they call them baby steps.
Oh yeah.
Team Queso still gonna be over here. Looks like it's going to be pulling out of their church position. Maybe. Just maybe. Maybe. They don't necessarily need to. 19 Esports still going to be up there trying to see if Team Queso make a mistake. You know, take a little shot onto them. BDM, the duo, doing the same thing. Doing the same thing with Xset over here in Picado. I mean, this is Miramar. We had one team get taken out in the first 2 minutes, a.k.a. wild card.
Yep.
Wow. Meta. Yeah, that happened this game. That happened this game 10 minutes ago, by the way. But besides that, there's so much room to really play around the different terrain, the different mountains that, honestly, these circles, they're going to have to force these teammates to get up close and personal because without the zones, like, nobody's going to do it, right? I mean, you just don't want to. So we'll see. Okay, this shift, not too bad.
There we go.
That should cause some action.
Meta was already rotating in towards the south. They're heading in towards Tribe's position. You can see King in there on the map. And now, because of the shift, they instantly turn. I wonder if some shots were fired back and forth, but we can now see them totally rethinking this rotation. They're going to go back around that ridge line, go up towards that western road there, in towards Xset, though. And who them and BDM both have to rotate. That mountain range that BDM is on now is going to become the prized territory in this next circle, Dave.
The thing is, Xset, they know exactly who's up there, and they know how many, right? Yep. So I wouldn't be surprised if Xset decides to try to take that fight right now and get that prize. Get that prize all the way up there to the top. Looks like Tempo going to be on the opposite end of that one as well. BDM might get sandwiched in with Tribe. All right, Telly in the back of the truck, just enjoying the breeze while they can before all-out mayhem. All-out mayhem here on the final map of the evening.
And I love this little decision here. We saw the interview with King earlier. Just their thought of want to take it a little bit slower, going to be a little more methodical, play to the late game, not lose any players in rotations, not lose anybody early. Stopping right there on that high ground position and scouting. A lot of teams just would have bombed over the edge of that ridge, and that is a great way to just get clown card. Not ideal, but they're playing it slower. And lo and behold, who is down here in front of them, a little bit of ways, it is INTZ, the team they are going to have to run into. So playing this leapfrog kind of hopscotch style, playing a little bit slower, moving into these circles, especially on Miramar, I think is really important because you do have a bit of time to work with.
And to add a little bit more to it, they're in 15th. They're in 15th, only 15 points in it. Ooh, Meta though, looking for some more action. Influence Rage, we know they got the gun skills. Let's see if Meta can come out on top this one. Rolex putting mine out right there. That should level the playing field. 3v3.
Here we go. That bank off the back wall, taking down Durso. Gonna make this a lot tougher. Castillo is gonna be playing Overwatch though, up the high ground position, able to relay info to the team. NTX playing the off angle as he so often does. That's this here. Merlovs is in the back. Durso able to stay alive just a little bit longer. Abdul will finally be pushed forward up in order to finish up that kill. I love we have Lukitas and Rolex holding down both of these off angles here to make sure they don't get flanked. That's actually what NTX is doing. Dave, he's taking the wide flank. This might pay off for him here. I'm not sure if they're aware that in the scuffle, in all this, I don't think they really expect that. Abdul's got his back to him.
I mean, this is a huge game for Meta. If they think they'll give up 8 kills. 8 kills. NTX, though, like you mentioned, definitely playing that spoiler. Going to be seeing one of these members real quickly deciding not to take the shot. Very interesting move from NTX right here. Okay, going to be popping out right now. Taking a couple shots onto Lakitas, giving away the position.
Oh, that was huge. He had an opportunity, and now it's starting to just fall away. Especially with the blue coming in now, this ever-present force at the back. NTX are going to completely rethink about this position. The Meta are still somewhat pinned. And Influence Rage needs to rethink how they want to approach that fight. NTX was their trump card, and he came up empty. Uncharacteristic in that situation. Often one who will find those shots, trying to have a little bit of trigger discipline not paying off. As Meta is now starting to push him, but they're doing it as a group, Dave. We know they can. They already took a fight earlier with Wildcard, but Merlov's the flank's able to find one. Can they confirm it? No. Playing this back. Merlov does go down. Nice shots there. But Castillo's able to trade out one as well. This is looking pretty good here for Meta, but Rolex is going to fall. And we are going to see a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade, 2v2 right now when it comes to members up. One thing to know, this fight is happening the furthest away from the next zone. NTX using the pin, trying to creep up, trying to crawl, trying to catch Meta off guard. Lukita's pretty much taking it 1v1, trying to get the confirms. Abdul popping up right there. NTX, the plan, spoiled once again.
But he gets the tunnel vision. The crossfire is there, and there's NTX. Can't face him. Can't do it. Can't make the battle against Escanor. And now we see Lukitas and Meta able to try and get themselves out of there, but the blue is pushing in. No time to loot, no time to slow down. Just survive. But now Meta, with 2 squad wipes to their name, they still gotta be feeling pretty good about that one, even though they do come out battered and bruised.
Yeah, I mean, 8 kills. 8 kills. That's the same placement points if they were to get a 4th place. So they're coming into this one already feeling really good. We'll see if they can continue on their journey, make it on into the new zone. INT Z, Mitz over here in the smoke, getting shot from C-Cut SKS.
Oh, the headshot too. Ooh, through the smoke. You love to see it. Also, I want to let the record stand. You know how hard it is for me as a Canadian not instinctively to say INTZ? All right? I'd like to retrain myself, you know? It's tough, man. Props to appreciate. I just want you to appreciate that, okay? Everybody in chat, this is for you. And for all you lovely fans down there in South America. I'm learning, all right? Doing. You know who else is learning or trying to? How to stay alive is Tribe. Ben is right there with them, though. As they're trading back and forth, G3 surviving the scrap of HP, but Telly, I feel like I keep coming back to the shots that Telly is able to land, but my goodness, rock meet hard place.
I mean, Telly, hey, land all the shots you can. You're stuck like Chuck. I'm not gonna lie. Not in the next play zone. Meta were able to pass over you.
Oh, good one smoke.
Right? 19 smoke. Looking in your direction. Like, the last one alive right now for Tribe. Like, it's do or die.
I mean, there's an attempt. An attempt is being made. Escanor is here. Footsteps are going to be coming in. Telly trying to take the shots from the blue. 19 off from the outside. Could play spoiler on this. But Meta wants to keep the dream alive here with Escanor. And you can see the shots coming on in. Going to be weaseling around. So close to blue. Oh, Jacob takes it. Jacob takes it. Escanor doesn't even get the point. Oh, feels bad.
That's it, feels bad. And another feels bad. Escanor vehicle. Tire gone. Oh, smoking.
Oh,
what's he gonna do? In the blue zone.
He's got to go. I mean, oh no.
Oh,
Asta. Battle of the enemy names. Oh no. Okay.
Hey, meta though. I mean, everything's stacked against them. Yeah,
so good.
Ton of kills. So huge game for them to wipe out not one, but two teams.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not like some other point scoring systems where you actually still accrue additional points for that, because we do start those 0 for those last couple places there. But still, you're one step closer to getting those additional placement points. And I got to give props to Meta, because that's the team I talked about earlier. You know, they showed up in week number 1. They really impressed me. Their gun skill was solid. That was that team, and I'm really happy that they're not gone. I'm really happy that they can still show up in that big way. Really happy to see these teams step up. And speaking of stepping up, oh man, G25. Okay.
Ooh, the bus. Saving the day. What up to? Hey, the bus, man. We didn't calculate for the bus right here. So,
church bus. Yeah.
Church bus. Big true. 19 esports, 3 kills, but since the beginning of this game, like we keep popping on over to them, like they keep finding themselves in like fights and they're crashing tempo.
Yeah, and it's not working out so well for them so far. Multiple headshot downs, and this is just one last man standing. I think it's Trix, and Tensa's just go. Okay, well then,
You later, kid.
Yep. Well, we were going to make all these 19 esports look pretty good, getting a couple of kills, all that good stuff, but then
Kills. Not bad.
3 kills. But here's the thing, when you're driving in at that kind of angle, like your head can only be in one place. And I feel like Tempo knew, you know? Tempo had the eyes. That was dirty. They just
got to get your head in the game.
They just jaws of life them out of those vehicles. There was not a second of hesitation.
These grenades from Bale, these grenades from Cloud9 right here, they're keeping X-Set. Trying to rep this set, they're keeping them pinned down. Next set, they have a couple smokes to work with. Nico able to pop that heal, but look at the 3-1 split. The 3-1 split right now from Cloud9. You see Pyro getting shot in the distance. They're taking a fight with Clays, but Bale looking to get these kills onto X-Set, looking to keep them pinched. Oh, the support now. On uneven.
Ooh, but Angry wins the fight. The clean 1v1. That was actually huge. Bale wasn't able to work on the damage that was done. Nico on the outside flank. They told him to reset this, and the nades that were raining in from C9 now starting to chuck back the other way. But I can see Angry taking shots from the distance. Another team getting involved in third party. I believe it's Tempo Storm looking to get involved. As all the battle breaking out here across these North American teams, but Clays is looking to get in on the action. You talked about them fighting the other side of C9, who is now looking pretty worse for wear.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9, they're taking fights on multiple angles here. This is the downside of that. Bale with the Tommy gun. Okay, Tommy gun. Respect. Angry should bleed out. Okay, there you go. X-Set, Nico able to get the revive, get the heal. Adar now coming with the support, with the barrel. The 762, it packs a punch. Orlando, though, on the tail end of this one. Clays are collapsing.
Yeah, I mean, that other side of the defensive wall of Cloud9 was just shredded. Having 4 members of Clays into 2 members of C9, they already did clean up Bayo. The Molotov from Rembote is going to take down Pyro as well. The nades from Adder is stuck. They needed to commit to one, but they bit off more than they could chew. Take Exit, take Clays, but don't try and do both, because now Cloud9 are feeling anything but as their dreams are back down to 6 feet under.
Yeah, 1 kill on the Cloud9, 8 kills onto Exit, looking to make that 9 right here. Nico, Joey, grenade from Nico. Another point on the board. Cloud9 spreading just a little too thin right there, getting taken down in 7th place. G25 over here on the opposite end of things, trying to gatekeep tempo.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been getting worn down here. It's just a couple members. I mean, we lost 1 to the blue earlier. Unico's out there. There's only 2 players standing and 4 for tempo, but Team Queso is still up the hill. This is the battle of the teams trying to fight for that #1 spot. I mean, just trying to take it from, you know, Team Queso to being early. But still, they're up there. They're getting involved, but Clays is not finding themselves in the best position to do so, because the push they did to continue to take down C9 did put them in a position now where they've got the unnamed on one side, they've got other squads surrounding G25 and Team Queso, and Exet are actually going all the way around. But Tempo Storm, we definitely have to talk about them, because they're one of the few teams that have kept all 4 players up.
Only team. They're the only team. The only team. Clays, they got 3. The Unnamed, they got 3. So we shall see what Tempo can do with their numbers advantage.
Here we go.
Okay, to clean out G25. They're getting some nice angles. Rain with the connect right there and the quick thirst. 6 kills on the Tempo.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking really solid. I mean, you said you were talking to Monica earlier, Dave. What were they trying to do?
Get a chicken. Get chicken. That's it. That's the plan. Get the chicken, baby. Tensa with the grenade. Interlocks in the bush. Find the burnt out Bronco. Toss the molly right there. On to Tensa. Tensa's burning, baby.
Whew. I mean, Interlock's the last one standing, but still doing so much work! Single-handedly dismantling Tempo Storm! There's gonna start party for Clays as well! Hang on a second! What was looking so good for Tempo, now in shambles. G25 was cleaned up, but they're going from 4-2 real quick. As Team Queso up here on the outside, able to continue to keep up the pressure. I believe Exet did go down during that scuffle as well. The Unnamed playing on the outside this whole time. We're looking to get involved. There's the peek from Ran. Mitsume not expecting the angle. There is Marco. Can Ran hit the shots? Yes, he absolutely can. But Marco holding on just a scrap of HP. But the teammate gets in there, and Q is able to clean it up.
Another one. I told you.
Another one.
The Unnamed. They're looking to get back into that top 16 right now. 3 teams to go. 3 teams to go. Orlando in the bush. The last one alive for Clays. Clays going to be getting sandwiched here from the Unnamed and Tempo from both sides.
They were able to get Tenso up. I did not see that. I thought 2 had been thirsted there in all of that scrimmage, but Tempo was able to keep 3 members alive. Dave, that was huge. I missed that. That's absolutely massive, because now they can match the Unnamed in terms of numbers.
That they can. I'm really interested in what Ran from the Unnamed could do up there. I don't believe Tempo are aware of their current position. Could play spoiler.
This is huge, because the 2 other members are down here behind this little tip, behind this tree. And they've been taking a lot of shots. And Dave, that is not by accident. They have been keeping the focus of Tempo there. The smokes are up, so maybe there's a little bit of awareness. Rain is using that to his advantage. As we see them pushing on in, but look at where their eyes are facing. Look at where they're focusing. And Ran up here on the high ground, you talked about it. This angle, if this trap is sprung correctly, could be absolutely massive.
Yeah, there goes the smokes. Not only that crate looking mighty tasty right now. Looking mighty tasty. That level 3 gear might be in there. That might get the attention of Tempo. And Rain is looking right on top of that one. Here comes another smoke. J7 going to be getting peppered. Ran going to be popping up. Raven making the push as well.
Yeah, they know he's there now for sure. Tensa looking to take the shots, but the first down has been achieved. Oh no! Tensa trying to go forward. I don't think they appreciated how far up Raven actually was. And now this is a 1v3 situation. It all comes down to the last member standing for Tempo Storm. Ran is coming in with the grenades. He's pushing in from this high angle. That nade is going to be solid. Rain's down to half HP. And the Unnamed, once again, looking to make a name for themselves. And the PMPL doing it with style. racking up quite a few kills there at the end too. 8 kills for them. Solid win in our final game of the day.
Exactly what they needed. Exactly what they needed. They started today in 16th. They started this game in 18th position, so they lost those placement points. They came into this one. They got the kills. They got the chicken dinner. Man, they do not want to let go of their top 16 spot here, Paul.
No, they do not, and that's the tenacity that I need to see. They played that so smart. There were so many teams on the western edge of that circle playing so aggressive, and the unnamed just worked their way in. Jason seems to be a bit of a trend that we've seen so far today. The team that plays a little more passive in those chaotic final circle situations, whether it be defeaters, whether it be the unnamed, it's paying off for them.
Didn't work out for Nova earlier, but definitely working out for them there. I was actually surprised to see Tempo kind of fluff that. I thought Tempo would have been able to win just in the head-to-head combat. You got Tenza there, it means a DM Warrior. I thought they would have had it, but then when they started to push out, and then someone gets down, and then another player pushes out like past him, and then he gets down. It's kind of like, all right, we just left, I think it was, what, Rain alone versus 3. You're not really going to have a chance to survive that, unfortunately, for them, but also a big victory for the Unnamed, because I think they fell out of our top 16. They were in our red zone, and I think with that victory, that should be able to push them back up into the top 16 to live to fight another day. But you two, short day, 4 matches in total. Mustache Dave, salute to you. Hand gestures to you as well. I don't know, I'm not cool, I'm not hip, I'm a little bit of an old man. And we'll check in with you guys another day. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day off. Alright, let's bring our experts in though to break down that last match. And again, Unnamed, big game for them. Tempo falling a little bit short, but again, Tempo safe, so Unnamed definitely playing for a lot more on the line, to be honest. And maybe they give them the extra oomph they needed to close the game out.
Yeah, with the name, the way they were able to take care of Team Castle there, at least the last 2 players of Team Castle. And on top of that, the way the angle that, I think it was Ran, right, Glitter? Ran was able to hold and just be patient, wait for them to actually see the Tempo players and start getting those knocks. I thought that was huge. And this is great, like a great win for them. As you were mentioning, they were outside of the top 16. Hopefully this pushes them back up to the top 16.
Well, it definitely should as we take a look now at map rankings, and you can see 23 points picked up for the Unnamed, but Glitter Russell seeing Tempo with 21 and Queso with 14.
Yeah, like we said, you know, huge points for the Unnamed could potentially change up some of the standings, but Tempo, we were talking about this while we were watching the game. Tempo's had such a good day today for themselves. They've just been all day cleaner, more consistent, and they've managed to pull down a decent amount of kills on the games that they've had strong showings in, so this is going to be great for Tempo. Queso able to pick it back up here on the final match of the day, 6 kills and 8 placement points themselves. Clay's Esports, that was another team that we saw in the red at the top of the show. In 20th place, I believe, at the very beginning of today, as one of the squads that really needed to chip away at some of those points, and they're able to do so here in the final match with 14 points as well. Xset, yet another strong performance, 9 kills for Xset, 4 placement points. Metagaming out of nowhere with 9 kills themselves. I mean, that's definitely better than anything we've seen all day from them here, 7.
Yeah, with metagaming, I think I forgot who they were going up against, but there was a huge engagement that were actually battling somebody. I forgot to write the other name down.
Was it Influence Rage, the one you're talking about? We were talking about them on the edge of the blue? Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's the one right there. Yeah, I think that was a huge win for them because those 2 teams are currently within that danger zone, and for them to be able to win that, and on top of that, add even more kills to their tally, I think was huge. You see Nova Esports there being able to bounce back with at least 3 kills, 4 points total. You see Drive Gaming there with 3 kills, Cloud9. We thought it was going to be today. We still haven't seen Cloud9 that we kind of expect to see. Hopefully they're able to pick it up here within the next couple of days. Influence Rage there with 2 kills, as we're mentioning. The fight that they have with Meta, not being able to clutch that against Meta, I think it might come huge later on if we continue to see the same performances. We see Ace 1 there with 2 points, INTC with 1, BDM Esports, which definitely needs points, 0 points there, and Wildcard Gaming, a bit of a fall off there from the last match with 0 points.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for them, but I think more unfortunate for BDM, as you kind of pointed out. They desperately need these points here, and not getting any in this last match can definitely hurt them. As you now take a look at our stats, obviously with our victory team, the Unnamed getting themselves a big chicken dinner. Not much damage, but they get at least 8 kills on top of this, and that's honestly a ton of points that they could desperately use. We've been talking, Glitter, about how little points there are separating these teams. At the top of the day, it was 30 points between 10th and 16th place. And they practically got 30 points in that match alone, so they should easily skyrocket now.
Yeah, and I think the Unnamed was what, 2 or 3 points outside of that top 16 position at the start of today. So, and you know, they are a team that we've touched on a few times, whether it was a little bit last week, and even we've seen it some from them today. They just weren't really hitting the mark that we needed them to hit in order to maintain that position. They had a few performances where they seemed like they were picking it up and then they fell off a little bit again. So this win is going to be huge for that team. It could have just barely solidified their position in there, and I'm excited to see how those all shake out at the end.
Yeah, definitely excited to see when we get to that point. We gotta, I think, take a look at our Mountain Dew game feel moments though from that last match. Take a look at a lot of the highlights, a lot of the kills, everything that did come through, and I think we're going to start things off by looking at Wildcard, actually. Looking at Spring off the bat, and we're actually seeing them already attack Meta, as we were talking before, when Meta eventually did fight up against Influence Rage.
Yeah, between this fight here, I know that we were watching this, we saw Acer being alive, we were like, okay, Wildcard still has a chance. As soon as Acer went down there, you saw Sleeking, you saw the other Wildcard players try to move up, and then it was just downhill from there. We saw there the fight, this is the fight right here, we were talking about Influence Race between Meta. This is just such a clutch win here for Meta, and I think this will play a huge part later on, because this is points that might put them ahead of Influence Rage. If not, it might put them a little bit closer between those top 16. Extra points that definitely matter. We always say 1 point can make a huge difference, so for them to be able to get those extra kills, huge. We see Tribe Gaming here being able to also get some knocks and get some kills. Tribe Gaming is one of those teams that we expect to see more out of. They only ended up with 2 kills in that last match. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough later if they continue those kind of performances.
If it's continued, definitely not, because they were one of the teams that we had seen very close to that bubble. And I know this is only the first day of the final week. However, I feel like throughout the rest of the days of this week, we're going to see a lot of teams kind of getting into the top 16 and then potentially falling out, and then getting back in and then falling out, just because all of them, like Jason was saying earlier, they're all so close in points. There are most definitely going to end up being teams that are either tied or separated by 1 point here, 2 points there. So it's going to be a battle for all of these squads. It's definitely, I mean, I have no idea how it's going to shake out, but and this was another engagement we were watching here with Cloud9. Cloud9 was in such an unfortunate position as they were fighting Exit. They also ended up getting pinched between them, and with Clays coming in behind them did not go in their favor at all in Cloud9. I feel like they can't afford those types of things to be happening.
Yeah, and I think with Team Queso, with Cloud9, yeah, I completely agree with you that. And with Team Queso, I feel like they maybe should have been able to rush up a little bit more. I feel like they got a bit more complacent with their placing there, knowing that they were in the middle of the pack. But overall, that spot, the position that they had, was just not good. I hope in the future they go back and watch this game and kind of realize these kind of things. Because if you want to become a championship team, you definitely need to make those changes. And right here, we see the Unnamed being able to win. As we're mentioning, Ram, by having that huge off angle, that's pretty much what ended up getting them to win their Twitter.
Yeah, I feel like we watched almost like Tempo go in one at a time to their death there for that final push or fight from the Unnamed. Duran had a great angle, but I also didn't understand why Tensa tried to run past. I think it was J7 who was knocked in front of him to get up when he had the smoke there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think any of us know.
I thought they had that one in the bag.
Well, let's take a look at our total damage and start to talk about maybe some of the teams that did manage to step up when it came to our damage numbers. I think Team Queso have been relatively kind of quiet today, and I say that, but quiet in the sense of Queso, as we're seeing a pretty even spread of damage, to be fair.
I think when you say quiet, I think you mean that we're not seeing those 16, 17 kill games that Team Queso has been doing us to, but still. 6 kills, I mean, a lot of teams. I can know of a lot of teams that wish they would have had that exit. Once again, what a huge performance today overall. They definitely needed that. They showed a lot of patience in that last match, and it's something I really enjoy. You see Metagaming there with 9 kills as well, and then Wildcard there towards the end with 0 kills and 367 damage. And something with exit that I wanted to talk about in regards to patience is that in one play where they had 2 players knocked, where they pretty much, it was a 4v2. They could have went for the rush, but they decided not to because they knew they were at a disadvantage by having to go up a hill, and instead they decided to just wait to the next circle. I thought that those kind of plays right there, it shows you the mentality of the team overall. Maybe they're trying to find other ways to pick up where they're slacking off in regards to previous show days when Joey was not able to clutch up on certain points. So something to keep an eye out here for Exit. I'm enjoying so far what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and honestly, if they keep playing at this pace, they could definitely see themselves in the top 8 when we go to the finals, because one thing we can't forget is that there's a total reset of points going into this, so obviously it makes things a lot more even for all these teams to have a chance to have those breakout performances and take themselves a first place finish. But let's not take a look maybe at our top players, not in terms of kills this time. We're going to take a look at them in terms of our damage across the board, and I'm expecting we're going to see Axel. Yeah, he's got to be up there. 15,000 damage done, but the real surpriser for me is going to be number 3.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, Carrillo.
Wow.
Thanks, Jason.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't heard a whole lot of loops in general. We've seen Carrillo up on, our top 4 players for a few matches here and there, but not what we're used to from him specifically. So the fact that he's still top 3 in damage is kind of crazy.
It kind of makes me really happy, actually. I was enjoying seeing Team Kessel up there. I was enjoying seeing T25 and B4 with Nenebete there. But it's good to see that the MVP from previous tournaments, the man that we were expecting so much to see out of, is performing, and their team doesn't even have a chicken dinner yet. This is, in a way, honestly, for some of the other players and for some of the other teams, this could be a sign for what could possibly be to come on the finals, with Carrillo starting to pick it up here towards the end, and then Loops Esports starting to be a little bit, in a way, more consistent in regards to how they're playing.
Also, Nenebete there, 11 nade kills. Next closest to him was 8, and then the general average around 6 or 7. Like, he is just going off with his long-range throws that we've been able to see, especially when it came to last week. But for now, it's time to get to the part of the show that everyone out there, every team out there is going to be looking forward to see where they're currently sitting in our overall standings. So let's take a look here at our first page, our first through 8. I'm expecting to see Team K still there, steadily in first place, as they had a massive lead before. And yeah, they're still going to be maintained for now, almost 100 point difference between our first and second place teams. However, Alpha 7 have fallen down, and Tempo Storm have fallen up.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to digest this here. Go for it, Glitter.
So, B4, after their performances today and after Alpha 7's performances today, are no longer, I mean, they're still close. I think it used to be 2 points maybe separating them. And now, it's a little bit more than that. So B4 does jump back up into 3rd place, and Alpha 7 falls down. Obviously, G25 and TK are just going to be holding 1st and 2nd place strong. Tempo, after how good of a day they had, is able to jump back up 2 spots into 5th place. And they actually do have a pretty decent lead over Ace 1 and Loops now. Wildcard's maintaining 8th place still, but they're only, 16 points behind Loops Esports. So if Loops has another slow day and Wildcard has a strong one, they can continue to jump up these ranks because Ace 1 isn't too much higher above that. We still do have 3 days left in this week. So, I mean, for the most part, they're the same, but I feel like the gaps, the point gaps is what's most impressive to me, because they are slowly shrinking down, at least just for this first page.
Yeah, I'm totally glad you mentioned the point gap there. Between 6th and 8th place, I mean, nothing crazy in regards to movements there, but it is the little point gap that we're talking about here that's being able to close up a lot. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to see even more stuff here as we do see Exit now jumping into 9th place. We see X6 jumping up as well to 10th place. And Brazilian Rampage, one team that actually we haven't heard much about today, they fall down 4 spots. And look at this, Influence Rage now moves back in the top 16. This is insane. And another thing, even in the top 9 that we're able to see there, now X put themselves at 14 points behind Wildcard Gaming. If I remember right, like the lead in points was a lot bigger than that. Wasn't it like somewhere in the 40s?
Originally, between 8th and 6th, it was like 42 points. So all these gaps are shrinking down. It's kind of crazy. What I'm noticing, though, besides the massive fall-off from Brazilian Rampage and the huge rise from Influence Rage, we were literally just talking about them, 7. Meta's no longer on the 2nd page.
Oh. Yes.
Their Influence Rage must have knocked them out when they jumped up in the rankings, but look how close all the points are too. 306 for Cloud9, 305 for Nova, 302 for Brazilian Rampage. I mean, this is kind of insane.
I want to see the 3rd page. I think this is the one that's going to be able to tell us a lot here as we're going to be going towards the 3rd page, and we have Meta Gaming by 1 point behind Tribe Gaming. You know how we said 1 point can make a difference? Well, guess what? That is perfect. We could have painted a better picture right there. 1 point difference is currently what's sending them behind in 17th place. And even though they had a great finish to the day, losing 3 spots right there, that's going to hurt a lot. We see Pittsburgh Knights really not moving. BDM Esports, one another that we were mentioning, really not moving. Clay Esports there as well. And towards the bottom, hey, guess what? The Feeders is not last anymore with that chicken dinner that we're able to get. Now they put themselves at 23 points, helping with addiction. Nothing's working for them. They're currently in 24th. And something I want to mention in regards to Tribe Gaming, which is in 16th place, currently qualifying, and Metagaming currently in 17th place, 1 point behind them. The difference in kills is 14 points. So if for some reason, I believe the tiebreaker might be kills. If for some reason at the end of the day it ended up being tied, Tribe Gaming would be qualifying in regards to kills. That's crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, there's still 3 days left. There's 4 games tomorrow. There's 10 games thereafter that, split into 2 days of 5 games apiece. There's not that many matches left for all these teams to make their final moves, but what we have seen today is that the old guard has seemed to have slowed down a bit, and we're seeing the teams who are really under threat, when the pressure's getting to them, starting to shine here. Now, my question is going into tomorrow, is this a pace the teams can still maintain as we still have the finals around the corner? Because not only would they have to maintain it for tomorrow, for the day after, for the day after that, but then they have 4 days of games in the finals to try to get a top 3 place and to get home as much as the money as they possibly can, and of course a slot into PMGC.
I think we might see teams start doing a little bit crazier stuff. I think we might see teams starting to let the pressure get to them in regards to points. We might see teams become a little bit more aggressive and go for those extra kills, like in regards to metagaming. Right now, they need to pick up the kills. If for some reason, some weird, at the end of Sunday, they end up tied with Tribe Gaming or whatever is 16th place, I think we're going to see a lot more aggressiveness out of certain teams and a lot more passiveness out of the ones that are currently like in a safe spot.
I think we need to get like a 6-way tie going on and really get, you know, the advocates out to start to see who actually goes through and who doesn't. But that's obviously still a while to go here. You two, we're all done for the day. It's only been 4 matches. The day's gone by extremely quick. A little bit sad to not have a 5th one today, but, you know, we'll have them later on the week. So once you guys get out of here, once you go relax, and you guys at home as well relax, because we still have 4 matches come up tomorrow at the exact same time, 1 a.m. CEST, 4 a.m. PDT, and we'll be getting ever so closer to finding out who our 16 teams are that will be heading to the PMPL Season 2 America's Finals.
Alright, well, I guess that's it.